Now, as a game company, we started back in about 2010, where where I had a great idea for a very large-scale game called Warspace. Now, Warspace is kind of like this massively multiplayer online game that every person in their right mind wants to make when they're first getting into video games. Like, this is the holy grail of all games to make. Well, I still want to make that game. I'm not going to lie, I'm here today because I have an idea, I have a vision for a game company that I want to make out of nothing. I want to make something out of nothing, and this is my attempt at it. So as I was saying, we started building this game back in 2010. I found a couple guys on a website called GameDev.net, which is still a very great source for finding people if you're looking to start a team, by the way. Anyway, I put together a team of about 6, 7, 8 people at the time that were really interested in putting together this game. I found a great programmer, I found some good 3D artists, and we just kind of went with it. You know, we put together an idea of what we wanted the game to look like and how we wanted it to act out and everything. I spent a long time, I had a great idea. I was going to put this game together for some investors and see what would happen with it. So we reached that pinnacle where we knew we were in over our heads. The game we were making was just way too big. It wasn't going to pan out. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, this is something I still want to make. This is something that's still on our, to-do list for our company. So, we put together a pretty sweet demo. We had a good tech demo of what we were trying to do. We were basically trying to create a universe. Well, the universe playing area is basically about 2 galaxies in size. How do I explain this? I guess the programmer had some great algorithm for doing 128-bit floats within the game. He could basically create anything at a 1-to-1 scale, 32 magnitudes of levels of... I don't even know all the jargon for it. Let's just say it was a very grand idea, and it's a very big game that, as I keep saying, I still want to make. So, looking at the scope of this game, looking at where we stood, I come from a background of, audio and sound, so I'm basically an engineer. I graduated with a bachelor's degree from Wayne State University, and, during that time, I hooked up with one of my friends who was making video games at the time. He was doing indie iPhone applications. His first one was I Like Cereal. The second big game that we really worked on was called I Bail Out. And while neither of these games really had the success that he was willing to do, that really sparked my ambition to start the company. So, like I said, 2010 rolls around, we start working on Warspace. 2011 comes. I go to the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, and, that was kind of really what put me into perspective. There's all these mobile applications, these mobile games that are coming out that are they're just taking, the users by storm. People are just sitting on their phones playing all day long. They got something to do, 5 minutes here and there. They can bust out a game, shoot a bird across the screen, break some bricks or some wood, score 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 points, whatever it be, and, put it down and be done with it. So here comes my ambition for let's make some smaller games. Let's bootstrap the company. Let's take our company to the next level by making games that are within our scope. We're small, we're new, we don't really know what we're doing yet. Let's take on a project that we can actually, do. So, one night I'm driving, I'm a delivery driver at Jimmy John's, and this is what I call my work job. This is my real job, doing video games. So here I am, driving around. I nearly get killed by a downed tree. It was storming that night, it was all rainy. Some guys ran out in the middle of the street, nearly ran them over. And a telephone pole was down, of all things. And here I am trying to get to this delivery thinking, wow, this would make a great game idea. So we ran with it, and I wrote up a game design document in one night, and 30 minutes or less was born. So here comes 30 minutes or less. It's this crazy top-down delivery driver game we did in 3D. That was a little bit of an extra ambitious project that we probably could have done in 2D and, saved a lot of time and, hair pulling, but we got most of it done. So the idea behind 30 Minutes or Less is that it's a top-down delivery driver game. You can look at the screen, you touch anywhere you want to on the screen, and the car follows where you're touching. So if you put it on the left, the car goes to the left. You put your finger on the right, the car starts going right. It's pretty basic, pretty simple to pick up and play. The game idea was to get from the shop to the drop in 30 minutes or less. That's all the idea is. But, as time moved on, I wanted to monetize this game. I wanted to turn our company into a real company. I didn't want to just release this game for free, as it were. I would like to have made money off it. So I started working with the Blackstone Launchpad. And the Blackstone Launchpad was a startup from the Blackstone company. They actually pioneered the job, or I'm sorry, they pioneered the company, this kind of like non-profit company in Miami first, and it was called the Blackstone Launchpad to help foster entrepreneurs. Well, it was such a great success in Miami that they took it up north here to Detroit, and they started it at Wayne State, where I was attending college. One day, I happenstance randomly stumbled into this place, was like, what is this all about? And they gave me the lowdown. I'm like, this is great. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to learn. So I joined the Blackstone Launchpad, and without any further ado, I found everything I needed. This is a great resource for budding entrepreneurs, for people that wanted to, really had ideas. They wanted to make their own companies. They wanted to make something real. So I ended up jumping on board here. They started helping me write a business plan. So like, this is a pretty cool game, but how can we make it better? How can we monetize it? And I spent a good month and a half thinking about ways to make this game a viable source of income. So ended up taking the game, and I said, let's do this with it. Let's throw in branding. Let's brand the game. Let's take it. Let's advertise in the game without actually advertising. And everybody's like, well, what are you talking about? I mean, there's so many games right now that, involve advertising. There's always pop-ups. I'm like, yes, well, that's the idea. There's no pop-ups. All the advertising is already in place in the game. For instance, you are maybe driving in a level that's maybe Domino's based or something, or maybe you're driving for Jimmy John's or Little Caesars, whatever it may be. But the idea is that you take a level and you brand it around a company or an idea. And not only that, let's take another idea. Let's reward the player for playing well. So here comes another great idea. On top of playing for certain levels for companies, for instance, like driving for Domino's, we'll stick with that idea for right now. Why not make it so that if they find a secret or they get a high score, that they are also rewarded with a real-world reward, not just an achievement or something that's like, who cares, Like, who cares about a fucking achievement, man? I don't want to play a game and be like, oh, you found 100 gold stars, congratulations, whoop-de-freaking-doo-dah, I don't care. So let's reward the player with something real. Let's give them something tangible. So my idea was to take these games, well, beyond just 30 minutes or less, but take our games and let's brand them with real-world rewards. Let's give the player something to actually play for, instead of just achievements or little badges that they can show to people. That's cool and all, but let's go to the next step. Let's take it to where the player is, earning something for their time. So the idea was to give coupons to the players. Let's reward the player with a $5 coupon for the next pizza or whatever, And this was all a great idea, but the one lacking thing came probably about November, December, when the 3D guy that I had was, he was doing a great job. He was making great models, I thought, but, he couldn't dedicate the time. He had another job that, was paying him. I'm not paying this guys yet. I'm still a nobody. We're working for, peanuts. We're working because we're passionate and dedicated about what we're doing. So I needed somebody to pick up the slack. We were a short 3D guy. We couldn't do what we wanted to do. So there I am on LinkedIn, and I posted just a quick thing that was like, looking to help for some 3D on our game, and here comes Richard. Richard Cook is an amazing 3D artist. He really helped bring our company into the forelight. He took the models that we had already for 30 minutes or less and made them pop. He made them really stand out, and they looked amazing. I mean, he did so much. He like busted his ass to get this work done. In 3 months, we had all the textures redone. The game was looking beautiful. It was crisp. It was playing solid. The programmers came in. They did a wonderful job of making the game work. Obviously, we had a lot of setbacks. But, you know, come June and July, when we actually were finishing up, we ended up meeting up with this guy from Jabbersmack named Michael Devine. And Michael Devine was playing the game. He's like, we really like this. Why don't you feature it on our website called Jabbersmack? I ran with it. I said, let's do it. Let's get this game up on Jabbersmack. So we kind of had a deadline. We finished the game. Well, we finished it to the best of our abilities. We got 15 levels done. There's so much more I really wanted to do with the game, but, you know, we got it done. We got it out there. And, you know, I said, let's just make it for free right now. You know, the stuff that I want to do with it, it's just not coming to fruition. It was a great game, but we didn't market it right. We didn't have the resources to really bring it to the next level. So, I mean, we got a little bit of a... sorry about that. We got a little bit of a recognition from the game, and we put it out there, and that's all that mattered. I still want to put this kind of like in-game branding in our games, and I still really want to do that. I want to do something where we're taking the game and we're making it not just fun, but, you know, rewarding for the player beyond just achievements. So one day I'm sitting in the coffee shop thinking of other things we can do. You know, we got this kind of game out, but let's do more. Let's keep putting these games out. Let's start building a name. Let's get people interested in who we are. So there I am one day sitting in the coffee shop flipping through a random name generator for games. I forgot the name of the site, but I'm sitting here chatting with Richard, and I'm just throwing funny game name ideas out there. And here comes Progenitor Police. Just a random name. I'm like, Progenitor Police. I show it to him. It's like his eyes lit up. He's just like, that's it. That's what I want to do. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, let's make this game. This would be a great game idea. Progenitor Police. I can already see it. I see everything I want to do with it. I'm like, okay, well. I mean, in my company, I want to encourage everybody to participate to their fullest. If they're passionate and this is really what they want to do, then I really want them to get involved with the company. I want them to do everything they can. I want them to, you know, feel rewarded, to feel appreciated. I want them to feel like they've contributed something in major ways. So I was like, you want to do this? I'll make you the lead. You can run with this game however you want to. Let's go with it. Let's see what happens. So we started work on Progenitor Police October of 2012. We started working on some assets, some game ideas, and we've had quite a few setbacks. We expected that to be a 3-month project because we're doing it in 2D, side-scroller. You know, how much work could that truly be? Well, here we are in April and May of 2013, still working hard on this game because, you know, there's just there's just so much we still want to do with it in so little time. We were trying to get this game ready to show off at PAX and GDC that we went to this year, and that was a huge success, by the way, at least I feel. A lot of money out of the pocket, but you know what? It was totally worth it. So we're coming to crunch time, and this is back in June. I'm sorry, not June. I apologize. This is back in about February. We were busting our ass to get this game playable for this. And I'm like, you know, the guys that were working on it right now, the programmers, they were tied down with other projects and other things they were doing outside of our company. And I needed to find another programmer. And again, just completely lucky, I find this guy named Dustin lurking on the Unity forums. And he comes out of nowhere. He's like, yeah, I'd love to work on your game, you know. We get him on board, and literally within 2 weeks, we get this game running. It was crunch time. We spent 2 weeks of solid day and night working, just getting this ready for PAX. And by that time, we nailed it. We got it down. And we got the product out there. And it was a fun game. We went to PAX with it. We were excited about it. People were playing it and getting a lot of good feedback. And what we had was, you know, it was exciting. we felt we were doing something right at the time. And March rolls around. So we got PAX, we got GDC done. There's still so much you could be doing with PJP at this point. Finally, we come across another fellow. His name was AJ. And to put things as simply as possible, AJ is probably one of the best mentors, one of the best people that I've ever ran into in my life. I'm kind of one of those people that, you know, not so much believe in destiny, but, you know, building our own destiny. But along the way, we meet the people that we exactly need to meet. Like, those people that we meet are those people that we're destined to meet in one way, shape, or form. I call that a little bit, you know, ultimatum, optimistic. I don't know how you want to look at it, but, you know, I don't believe in chance. I believe in things happening for a reason. So here comes AJ, and just a great guy, you know. We're sitting here talking to him, and he's just got so much energy. He's so positive. He's got just a wonderful outlook on life, and like anybody he talks to, he could take them out of whatever rut they're having that day and just make them feel great and positive about themselves. And, you know, we're at a point where, you know, this game is beating our asses. We're doing what we can to get it done, and sometimes it can be a little bit, you know, soul-crushing, especially when you're putting so much of your time and effort into it, and it just doesn't seem like it's coming together. So here comes AJ, you know, we're talking to him, just a real nice fellow, and Richard kind of came across him, and I talked to him, and then we both talked to him, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really cool. I like to get to know him, just kind of see where he's at, you know, and really kind of learn about him, just, you know, ask him information, get a good look about the game development industry, because this is what he was doing, this is what he loves, that's his passion. And that's our passion. This is what we want to do. And here's AJ with just great insight, just a great outlook on life. He's giving us so much helpful wisdom to, you know, make ourselves better when it comes to our company and ourselves. And bring us to about now, and we're struggling. We're getting our asses kicked because, you know, we don't have time. We don't have the luxury of time. We're, you know, older people. Not everybody lives at home with their parents. I still kind of do, but we won't talk about that. I mean, we're just all strapped for cash, and we're trying to make something work, and having no overhead, that's one thing, but having nobody to back you is another thing, because you are putting your heart and soul into it, but you can't even afford to put ramen noodles in a bowl and eat it for a whole night. That's soul crushing. That hurts. Because you do have a love, you do have a passion for something, and you can give your all and give your life to it, and you feel like sometimes it's never going to reward you. And then just boom, out of nowhere, your total world can be completely turned around. So that kind of brings us to now, where we're here, we're doing what we can to bring Progenitor Police to light. We have so many more game ideas we want to make, but we need to sell, you know. It's not easy to get out there and sell your game. I mean, marketing and PR and all that stuff, that's half the battle, you know. Half the battle is making the game. The other half is stepping away from your game and realizing there's business to attend to. There's no magical light at the end of the tunnel without putting a little bit of effort. You're going to get your feet wet. You're going to get your hands dirty. And when it's all said and done, it's going to change you. It really is. It's going to turn you into something you thought you never could be. But, I mean, it's going to make you or break you. And every company is going to go through these times. They really are. I understand that with all my heart, that, you know, what we're doing is not easy, and, you know, some days, to say the least, you know, I could probably be doing more, but, I mean, sometimes I just need to step away from it. It can be so overwhelming. It can just take you and eat you up, and spit you out, stomp on you, and make you feel like you're the worst piece of shit ever. And, I mean, basically, you just gotta dust yourself off, step up, and stand back up to say, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to take this on. I can do this. I can do anything I put my mind out to do. So, I mean, we're AdaptivElite. I mean, the name, I picked it because I felt like we can adapt to anything. I mean, the elite part, whatever. I mean, I feel like if we can adapt to anything, we can be the best in whatever we're doing. Because the world is changing so fast. There's so much that can catch you off guard. If you're not ready to either take it on or adapt to what the situation is, then you will be eaten up and you will be taken down. So, I mean, let's look at it this way. If you're not doing what you love, if you're not giving your all and putting your soul and your heart and your life into what you're doing, you might as well just be working at Jimmy John's, you know. I mean, I'm not going to be there forever. I'm ready to quit. I really am. Obviously, I'm still doing it because I need a little bit of cash, and I'm not ready to give up the cash at the moment. But, you know, once we sell this game, I'm done. I'm stepping out of that place. I'm going to be gone. I'm going to be on my life, my road to where I want to be, because this is something, someplace, somewhere I want to be. I want to be where I want to be with the things that I love doing. I keep saying this over and over, but I mean, it's gonna ring true either one way or another. If you're not doing it, if you're not loving what you're doing, even when it's shitty and when it sucks, then what the hell are you doing it for? Why are you even doing it? So, like I said, my name's Anthony Drummond. I own this company, and if anything, I want to see ourselves succeed. I want to see ourselves be something amazing. I want to be... I don't want to be known. I mean, who cares if you're popular or not? I want people to really enjoy what I bring to the table. That's what I want. I want people to sit down and play a game and be like, wow, you made this? This is awesome. I really like playing this. And that's what I strive to do. This is what I want to do. I want to make people happy. I want to, you know, leave my legacy on this world and say, hey, I believe in what I'm making, and, you know, be damned to all if if I don't make it, whatever. I'm over it. I mean, I want to make something that people can look at, that people can play, and people can interact with. I've always been like that. You know, I have tons of side projects I'm always working on. I'm making music. I love making music. It's just something amazing. It calms me. Once I get in the zone, I can make anything I really want to. Like making this music for Progenitor Police right now. It's cool as hell. It's something I haven't really done before. It's you know, this hard rock, kind of fast, upbeat thing that just going fast. It's, you know, this is not what my element. My element's like trance, dance music. I'm really into that kind of stuff. So working on Progenitor Police with the music and audio and stuff like that, that's awesome. I love doing that. It's bringing me into a new element, and it's something I've never done before. But that's what's cool about it. It's like, how often can you say, today we're working on something completely different? You know, you work at a fast food restaurant or any restaurant for that matter, and you're just doing the same thing. It's the same grind every day. You're helping people, you're serving them food, you're giving them your best smile even when it's their shittiest day, and hoping that they tip you. And sometimes they don't tip you, and that can just leave you even more disgruntled than you normally are. But with a game company, you're making a game, you're putting your heart and soul into it, and in similar aspects, you are selling yourself. Like you're selling to the customer, so you do have to bring that smile. You have to bring that, you know, enthusiasm. Because if you come to a table on a bad day and people see that, they're going to react accordingly. Same thing with a game. You know, you bring a bad attitude to the people that you are selling your game to, they're not going to buy that game. Who the fuck are you? Get out of my face. I don't want your stuff. It's the same concept. I mean, bring the attitude that you want to be respected with, you know, wherever you go. You know, show that in your game. Be like, I'm passionate. I love what I'm making here. And if somebody's not interested, you know, cool. You know, shake their hand, say thank you, and move on. There's going to be people out there that like what you do. I mean, unless you make something completely shitty that nobody wants to play, and, well, it's a different story, but I don't know. I don't believe that anybody can make something that somebody else doesn't like. So I'm kind of rambling right now, but whatever. So, what else can I talk about? Let's find out. So a couple of the other games we're working on is, let me see. So a couple of the other games we're working on is 30 minutes or less. I'm sorry, I already talked about that. My bad. So another game we're working on is called Bit Attacks, and it's kind of an old school retro throwback. You know, I'm an 80s child. Think you have to go back to the 80s to understand where I'm coming from. There's a game called Defender, fast action side scroller. It's like your little flying ship. It's all pixelated. You're shooting aliens and whatnot. Well, I said, you know what? Why don't we take old school Defender and mix it with a little bit of League of Legends and see what we come up with. And Bit Attacks was born, and basically the idea behind Bit Attacks is you have a little army that you're trying to help get across the screen to the other person's base. So you're in a little ship that you're flying around, and you do what you can to aid your army out. You can drop bombs on the approaching enemy. You have to shoot lasers at, you know, the oncoming ships, because, you know, there's another ship that's fighting you. It's kind of like even grounds. And, you know, it's expected to be played out like 5-minute intervals. You know, we can get your army from your side of the base to the other side of the base in about 5 minutes. It's a quick, fun little game, and I think it's cool. And we'll see where it goes. You know, I think it has the potential to be really fun. And, I mean, I was inspired a little bit by Nidhogg. If anybody has ever heard of Nidhogg, it's another indie developed game. I saw it at GDC a couple years back, and it was super cool. Like, they were having a a tournament at one of these after parties, and there's just the crowd behind this game was just so big because it was so competitive. It was so simple. Like, you were basically, you know, a guy with a sword, and you try to get through these stages and get to the other side, and, you know, that's the idea behind the game. And that was kind of the concept that I had behind Bit Attacks. You know, it's a simple game. It's 8-bit. There's nothing real fancy about it, but, you know, you got a lot of explosions, a little bit of color, you know. The 8-bit graphics aren't so much 8-bit, but, you know, they're fancy, they're flashy. So people could play it, and there's, ooh, that popped, you know, that's really cool. And I really like the idea behind it, so I figured, let's make it, you know. And, again, with these setbacks that we get, there's always something that will come up and stop you from getting to where you want to be, and that's kind of what's happening with this game as well. You know, there's something that we can't get past, and because we want to make it in HTML5, we want to make it, you know, web accessible, but also mobile accessible and PC accessible, if that be the case. So there's something going on with HTML5. It's about to be updated. I don't know, but I mean, these little setbacks like this, you either work around them or you let them defeat you, and I don't want this little setback to defeat us. This is, you know, this is small. It's just because we're working in HTML5 and they're about to update it should, you know, prevent us from making this game. And there's always a workaround. There's always some way we can do it without feeling that we're going to be stopped because, oh, look, this update's about to come and, you know, we can't make the game now. Well, that's horseshit. You know, we can make the game. There's other ways we can do it. Just because it has to be in HTML5. It doesn't have to be in HTML5. It can be done in Unity. It can be done in something else. We can make it work. It doesn't have to be preventative because somebody said, hey, this is not coming out now and we can't do it. So, yeehaw. Yeehaw. Well, here's 30 minutes of fun stuff. Hope you can use it. Go, Richard.